call this meeting of the City of Clayton Planning Commission, February 27, 2023 to order. Ms. Sim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Bills?
Here?
Mr. Foley?
Here.
Mr. Muncy?
Here.
Ms. Pritchett?
Here.
And Ms. Williams?
Okay, for the general public, the Windsor development plan has been withdrawn. So if any of you are here for that tonight, that will not be presented.
Just withdrew for tonight. Just for tonight? Yep. They're going to take another look at the plans, and they'll be back before us.
Where is the Windsor? Where is this?
Village of North Clayton. The development to the east of the high school and middle school campus.
So Seth, when that comes back before the board, a letter will go back out, or
Yes,
it'll be
a
advertised?
letter to all property owners with surrounding the site will be sent again, so. Thank you.
So the procedures for the meeting is, anybody are you both interested in having a comment about tonight, or are you the applicant?
I'm just here to see.
Okay,
I'm here as the developer.
okay. All right. Review of the previous minutes will be postponed until the next meeting when there's a quorum of the folks that were here for that meeting. I was not present.
And Chair Bills, if I may interrupt, what I'd like for the Planning Commission to do is when a member is absent, if it's an excusable absence, if someone would make a motion to accept the absence, and then a second, and it could be a roll call vote for that.
So, Ms. Mullins? Is there a motion to approve her absence?
Motion to approve the excused absence for Ms. Williams.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Please call the roll. Ms. Sim?
Mr. Bills?
Aye.
Mr. Foley?
Aye.
Mr. Muncy?
Aye.
And Ms. Pritchett?
Aye.
So we have some organizational items to attend to tonight. The first is to approval of the 2023 Planning Commission schedule. Has everybody had a chance to review that? Noting that the December meeting will be the third Monday of the month due to the holidays. All right, can we have a motion for approval?
I'll move for approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Sim, please call the roll.
Mr. Bills?
Aye?
Mr. Foley?
Aye.
Mr. Muncy?
Aye.
And Ms. Pritchett?
Aye.
All right, so now it's a chance to call for nominations for the chair for the Planning Commission position.
Chair Bills, just before we do that, I draw your attention up one on the agenda under A, just acknowledging the receipt and understanding of the rules of procedure.
I skipped that one, sorry about that. So we have the rules of procedures of the City of Clayton Planning Commission that have been presented to us ahead of this meeting. Are there any questions of the commission on those rules? All right, so may we have a motion for approval?
Motion for approval for the rules of procedure provided to the planning commissioners.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Sim, please call the roll.
Mr. Bills?
Aye?
Mr. Foley?
Aye.
Mr. Muncy?
Aye.
And Ms. Pritchett?
Aye.
See, I was just trying to get out of that position, Seth. I didn't have to do that, but anyway. So appointment of the 2023 Planning Commission Chair. Are there any nominations for this position?
Would nominate Chairman Bills to continue for a year.
All right. Are there any other nominations? All right. So there's a motion in the second.
I'll second. Sorry.
All right, is there a
I'll-
second?
I'll make the motion to nominate Chairman Bills as the Planning Commission Chair for 2023.
Okay. I think we had that nomination. I was looking for a second. I said it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. Ms. Sim, please call the roll.
Mr. Bills?
Aye.
Mr. Foley?
Aye.
Mr. Muncy?
Aye.
And Ms. Pritchett?
Aye.
All right, so now we have appointment of the 2023 Planning Commission Vice Chair. Are there any nominations for the Vice Chair position?
I think we'll nominate the current Vice Chair, Dan Foley.
We have a nomination. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Ms. Sim, please call the roll.
Mr. Bills?
Aye.
Mr. Foley?
Aye.
Mr. Muncy?
Aye.
Ms. Pritchett?
Aye.
And the next item on the agenda is appointment of Barb Sim, Clerk of Council, as the Commission Secretary. Are there any other nominations for this position? Or any nominations, sorry. Other than- Yes. We want to appoint Barb Sim. Is there a motion for approval?
I would move to appoint Barb again.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Ms. Sim, please call the roll.
Mr. Bills?
Aye?
Mr. Foley?
Aye.
Mr. Muncy?
Aye.
And Ms. Pritchett?
Aye.
So on to new business, case number PC 23-02, Hunter's Path, Section 2. The request is for approval of Hunter's Path, Section 2 plat. Request made by DDC Management LLC, property owner, and the Planning Commission make its recommendation, City Council, for their final action. Seth, the presentation, please.
Thank you, Chair Bills. Good evening, Planning Commissioners. To introduce the application, before us tonight is application PC 2302, received on February 8th, 2023, for Hunter's Path Section 2 plat. The applicant is DDC Management LLC. It's also the developer. Property owner is Hunter's Path Project 1 LLC. Again, that's DDC Management. They signed the application affidavit stating that they are aware of and consent to the application. Public notice was printed in the Brookville Star on February 15th, 2023, and letters were sent to property owners within 300 feet of the site, were postmarked and mailed on February 14th, 2023. Hunter's Path is located at the northwest corner of Westbrook Road and Union Road. Section 2 is part of the parent property, parcel number M60-03207-0022, and has an overall area of 39.46 acres. Current zoning of the property is PDD, Planned Development District. That was approved per City Council Ordinance number OZC 2104. That was approved September 2nd, 2021. Staff reviewed and provided to each commissioner this evening the application and the Section 2 plat plan. Up on the screen is the proposed location highlighted. That is the Hunter's Path project property. Kind of looking at Hunter's Path development to date overall, the original final development plan for Hunter's Path, again, was approved by City Council on January 6, 2022. It showed a total of 125 single-family lots, open spaces for retention ponds, new roads to serve the subdivision, including the extension of, I'm sorry, that note there doesn't make sense. But there were new roads to serve the subdivision. I'll get into the Section 2 roads a little bit more in the next slide. The initial construction on Hunter's Path Section 1 is largely complete, and the builder, Arbor Homes, will be submitting soon for zoning certificates and building permits to begin building on the lots in Section 1. The reason we're here tonight then is for the plat of Section 2. It includes 59 single-family lots Road construction includes the extension and completion of Willow Road, the extension and completion of Ivy Road, the construction of Summit Court, and the extension and completion of Falls Road. For stormwater retention, the developer will be building an additional 3 retention ponds with this section. This is a copy of the Section 2 plat. I've highlighted in yellow the Section 2 area. What you see then to the left of the highlighted area is Section 1 that again has been largely completed in terms of the initial construction with roads and utilities. Looking at our toolbox, we always look at Plan Clayton for guidance. Plan Clayton is our comprehensive plan. It calls for single-family homes on this corner. Then we go to the Planning and Zoning Code for guidance, looking at Chapter 1161, Section 4, Subdivision Final Plan Approval Procedures, subsection H, which is Final Plat Contents. After staff review of the Section 2 plat, it appears to meet the technical requirements of Section 116104H. A traffic impact study is mentioned in that section, but that was previously submitted and approved as part of the final development plan for the project. And there has been no increase to the total number of lots approved in the final development plan. So after review and consideration of the Hunter's Path Section 2 plat, staff does recommend that Planning Commission make a recommendation of approval to City Council with the following condition. The applicant must address the comment resulting from the staff review dated February 23rd and emailed to the applicant the same day. That comment must be addressed to this prior to the submission of the plat for signatures. And that was a minor comment on the plat, did not change any of the number of lots or the layout in any way. So with that, I will put up the picture of the plat and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I had a question. So is it the same builder is going to be doing Section 2 that did Section 1?
That's my understanding. That'll be Arbor Homes for the entire development.
Any questions from the commission? Does a developer want to make a presentation?
Good evening. My name is Kirk Ritter here on behalf of DDC Management. We don't have a formal presentation or anything. We're just looking forward to getting this approved. Construction drawings have been submitted and are under review. And we're looking forward to getting started on Section 2 in the spring as soon as the weather breaks. So that's all I have, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Does the commission have any questions for the applicant?
One more. So I kind of came onto the Planning Commission not too long ago, and so when you did Section 1, was it like it was the plan was to go to a Section 2? Was it kind of together, or did you have the opportunity afterward? I'm just curious to add this.
I believe it was all approved as part of the preliminary plan, the overall development. It's always been the intent to have a Section 2. We just break it out in phases. Yep, no problem. Thank you.
Anyone else? Questions? No? So with no further questions, I've looked to the commission for a motion for approval or approval with comments or denial.
Motion to approve Section 2 plat with comments.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Sim, please call the roll. Or am I jumping the gun again?
Clarifying the motion Ms. Pritchett made is to accept the staff condition, correct? Yes. Okay. Yes, for the record, that would be great. Thank you.
Yes, the motion to approve Section 2 plat with the staff conditions.
Great.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Sim, please call the roll.
Mr. Bills?
Aye.
Mr. Foley?
Aye.
Mr. Muncy?
Aye.
And Ms. Pritchett?
Aye.
Well, if there's no further business, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I'll second.
Ms. Sim, please call the roll.
Mr. Bills?
Aye.
Mr. Foley?
Aye.
Mr. Muncy?
Aye.
And Ms. Pritchett?
Aye.